What's up, y'all? It's your boy Seattle Rick 206, aka that boy Rick, aka they call him Slick. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Seattle Rick 206. Whoa, wait a minute. Aka they call him Slick, aka Hype Man Rick 206. Wait a minute. Aka Hydrotown, Hype Man Rick 206. Back again with another edition of Late Night Rooster Tales. Late Night Rooster Tales. We are doing some hydro simming, playing some hydro sim on the simulated waters of San Diego Mission Bay, San Diego, however you want to say it. Um, we're actually going to run the boats in order. So what you guys are going to see is we're going to run the boats have a U number. So we start with U00 and then work our way all the way up. Don't work our way all the way up. So we are starting with the U00 Atlas van lines, and we are going in order. We're going in order, running all the real boats. All of the real boats. And I have a notebook that I'm going to be logging the speeds down and everything. So yeah, sit back and enjoy the ride. We are going to the simulated waters of San Diego Mission Bay with your boy Seattle Rick 206, aka Hydrotown Hype Man Rick 206. Yeah, we back at it, y'all. Late Night Rooster Tales. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. 50 likes is the goal. 50 likes is the goal. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get the channel to 1,000 subscribers. So let's get it. Come hydroplane with your boy Seattle Rick 206. I appreciate y'all. My bro BC done crept in the building, y'all. My bro BC, what's going on? What's going on? All love, man. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. 165.395. 165.395 miles per hour for the U00 Atlas van lines. I almost lost that sucker twice. I don't know if you guys notice. See right there, that little fin moving up front. I'm moving that with my thumb. I'm moving that with my thumb. That controls how fast I go, but it also controls the balance of the boat. So yeah, when I'm going over the rough water and I'm bouncing, I'm holding that sucker down so it doesn't flip. So it doesn't flip in the air. So yeah, 165.395, 165.395 miles per hour for the U00 Atlas van lines. Next up is the U00 Miller American, 1985. Now, these next two boats are pretty much similar in look, although one holds a little bit more white paint than the other one does. But I'm gonna drive one scooped. What I mean scooped is, I'll show you. So what I mean by scooped is there's a saltwater scoop that's over the cockpit. So this that's over the cockpit right here is for the salt water to go through so it doesn't mess up the engine. It's just kind of like a filter so it doesn't mess up the engine. But the next boat I won't run with the scoop on it just because, like I said, they're two similar boats. So one of them will be driven with the scoop and the other one will not be. But this is the 1985 and it'll be driven with the scoop. to UHL Hydroplanes, UHLhydroplanes.com, and ask all your questions and stuff over there. Um, you get more. You'll be able to get more information. Um, uh, besides what I can give you. There is the game is free. The game is definitely free. You can go download it from the H1 Unlimited website. You can just go and download the game and extract it. Um, if you know how to do all that, just download and extract the program from H1 Unlimited website, which is the hydroplane website. Then you want to go to the fan zone. It's going to say for fans. You want to scroll down and you'll see actually the game that I'm part of too, which is Hydro 2D, which is like little micro machine hydroplanes, but the real hydroplanes. And then you have Hydro Sim, which is what you're seeing right now. So you can go to the H1 Unlimited website and go download the games for free. But if you have any questions or anything on servers or anything like that, because the only way you'll be able to race anybody is if you are on servers through their program. So you want to go to the uhlhydroplanes.com and just start there, man. Just ask all the questions. I sort of don't, I'm not like too close with the people over there. So just go ahead and ask any questions or anything you might have to them about the program and the servers and stuff like that. But I can definitely answer questions about the game itself. But um, yeah, just out of respect for them, I would any specific questions that you might have for for servers or anything like that, I would go to uhlhydroplanes.com, and I believe they have a comment section or whatever, so you can go ahead and ask your questions or fire off any type of questions or concerns you might have, or issues if you're trying to download the game or anything like that. I have a wheel. It's in storage right now. I've learned to use the controller, so I'm using the controller to control the the canard wing in the front of the boat. Yeah, for sure, man. However I can help you out. I just had some mishaps over there with the hydrosim group, and I'm just not really like close with the program anymore. I mean, I still have some people that I'm cool with and stuff like that, but um, just out of complete respect for them, I would definitely ask them all your questions or anything like that. But if there's anything you want to know about like the game per se, I can try and do what I can. Um, and then they also have files where you can go and download all of the all of the boats that are in the game. Um, but they start you off with like 8 boats, 10 boats, or something like that. So you have boats in the game, but you can go and down. There's older files that you can go and download to get the Budweisers and all the other old boats and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool though, man. It's pretty damn cool. 162.908, 162.908 miles an hour for the U00 Miller American 1985. Scooped. appreciate you, boss. I appreciate you, boss. This is an older version of the game. This is an older version of the game, but yeah, man, I love flying the boat, man. I'm pretty cool with J. Michael Kelly, so I watch him fly the boat, man, and it's yeah, yeah. So I learned to just fly the boat. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Where are you from, EJ? Where are you from, brother? If you can hear me, okay. Where are you from? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Welcome, San Diego. Shout out to San Diego. Shout out San Diego. That's. I went to that race by mistake. I went to that. Okay, cool, cool. So you're in Lake Havasu area, where Lake Havasu is in Arizona, somewhere. But yeah, man. I ended up at the San Diego race by mistake one year. I lived in Vegas and I made plans to go to the hydro races in San Diego, but for some reason they were saying that year they weren't running the boats. It was like early 2000s or something like that, like 2000, 4 or something like that, 2004 or 5 or something like that, where they said they weren't running the boats there. And I remember being bummed out because I already took the time off to go. And I was like, well, hell, what am I gonna do? you know. So me and my partner at the time, we drove San Diego from Vegas, and ended up going to SeaWorld. So, if you know SeaWorld, you got the SeaWorld turn, which is right there. And so, what's crazy is, for some ungodly reason, I'm in the car. We just parked. I'm in the car and I start hearing. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Is it just because I'm mad that the boats aren't running? Or am I really hearing boats? Like, am I really hearing this sound? Or is it just torturing me because I really want to see the boats here at San Diego? So I'm getting out the car and we're walking up to the little ticket booth and everything, and for some reason I start hearing it again. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, well, that's it's certainly a hydroplane. It's certainly a hydroplane, and now I done made these secondhand plans to go to SeaWorld and go see dolphins and whales and guppies. Oh my! And so we're now in SeaWorld, and I'm hearing it. Just it's even louder now. I'm like, oh my god, where is it? What's happening? And we end up going into the Shamu show or whatever, the whale show. And I walked to the top of the bleachers, and why did I do that? Because I look over the bleachers and there's Mission Bay and there is a hydroplane on the water. I'm like, oh my God, I want this whale to flip and dip and do all the type of ish. Um, because I need to go see the boats. I'm out of here. This is old news now. Yes, we just got here, but it is old news now. There's boats on the water somewhere. So that's when I ended up going over there and seeing a legend and a good friend, Mr. Steve Reynolds. I believe, yeah, Steve Reynolds. He was down there. They're running the 787 um, Boeing boat with the French fry oil and the coconut, coconut French fry oil, or whatever it was. They had it was French fry oil, not coconut oil, French fry oil, but it had a scent of coconut. That's what it did. Yeah, it had a scent, a hint of coconut. It was the biofuel, and so it was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. They were running the biofuel 787. There was barely anybody there. Barely anybody there. So I hardly remember it. I hardly remember, the experience there. But I remember walking along the shore. The boats were down below me. It seemed like we took that little. There's like a little fair cars. The little ones that are hanging on the wire. We took one of those and it turned us around. We couldn't get out, so we had to go back. And once we went back, then we got the car and ran over and walked and drove over to the bay. But yeah, man, that was sick. Just from the little bit that I remember of it, it was sick. Yeah, man, it was cool, man. It was a cool experience. It was cool. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that because it was just they again the boats were not supposed to be running, and they had a couple of there. I want to say it was either the what was it at the time because it's not the Grig. It wasn't the Grigs at the time. It was it Vacationville? It was only piston boat. It was Vacationville, but then they had all those other little classes of boats there, but I just don't remember it. All I remember is that the funny thing is, man, I don't remember the boats running. Like it's just sad because I need that San Diego experience again. But I was just so caught up in just seeing the boats there and they weren't supposed to be there that I wasn't even paying attention to the actual course or the boat running on the course. I was just looking around like I couldn't believe it. It was just weird, man. It was just weird. And then, it's really honestly like a dream, but I really need to have that experience again, man, because I need to remember the course. I need to remember what I saw. Now that I watch all this footage and stuff like that, and um, when I play the Hydro 2D, I match up the game with real footage, with real races. So one day you'll see that. Matter of fact, I might even have a video on my YouTube right here somewhere, like recently, of me running the boats. But what I do is it's real cool. Is I take the Hydro Sim before we added time trials to the Hydro 2D, which we just recently did added time trials, but we're still working on everything. It's still all work in progress. But I would use the Hydro Sim to run the qualifying laps. So I would find H1 footage of qualifying in San Diego, and I'd match it up with the course. Or I'd let the boat run, and then I'd run the same boat behind the boat that ran on the footage, and then I'd line the game up with real footage of the races. So there's a countdown on Hydro 2D, and so I would actually match the time up and race, and so you have the real footage broadcast in the background while you're racing the game, and the game is quiet and the game is muted. So it's really kind of tight to hear Brad Luce and them guys announcing the races. Kind of, the races kind of go how they're talking too. So it's really cool, man. It's really cool. But I love San Diego. I just need the experience back. I need that. I need that back in my. I need that in my life. Like, for real. I need that in my life. And it's cool to have you in here, man. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you for sure. And I use this as a tool too, man, because I'm trying to get people to, I'm trying to get certain people's eyes for sponsorship for the sports, for the sport. So if you've heard of Team Benavidez, David Benavidez, the boxer, they have a gym here in Burien, Washington, which is probably like 5 minutes away from where I'm sitting right now. I'm trying to get them to sponsor hydroplanes, so I don't know if it's would be just for the West Coast races, but I'm trying to get the boxing team to sponsor the hydroplanes. I'm trying to get, um, there's just a lot of stuff that I'm working on, and I use this as a tool so they can see what their boat would kind of look like on the water and stuff like that, so they can get excited about it, and possibly become a sponsor of a boat or two, or maybe a associate sponsor for the whole sport. Um, but they have champion boxers over there. They have champion boxers over there. David Benavidez, his brother Jose Jr., who was also in Creed 3, the movie Creed 3. You got Diego and Fed Pacheco who train over there, and they come with their own networks, their own TV, right? TV networks and stuff like that with their fight contracts. So, um, just a lot more eyes on the sport, and however we can do it, for the communities that the sport touches. Um, I want to do everything possible to get to open people's eyes and to bring other sponsors in and stuff like that. Different cultures, different creeds. Let's expand this sport. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it a little bit bigger than what it is. That's all. Just a big heart and passion for this thing, man. That's all. That's what it is. I see kids like Carson Kelly, J. Michael Kelly's son. I see kids like him and his little brother coming up and all their friends and stuff. We need to keep this sport going for them. They're the future. You know what I'm saying? They are the future. Carson's growing so fast that he might be driving his dad's boat soon. I mean, he's just. I mean, that's just. It's just crazy to see how fast these kids are sprouting up and how fast time is going and how slow the efforts are to revitalize the sport that we love. And so we just want to make sure that we are putting that out there, and that we're not just. It's been a lot of greed filled people around the sport, just want it for themselves or their little clubs and stuff like that. It needs to be, if it wants to be, bigger, you need to bring other people in, new cultures. People laugh at the E1 in the hydrofoils, but look at all the fanfare and the celebrity fare that they got, over there, all the money that's going over there. So we got to start looking at that. Our drivers are going 200 miles an hour, and we can barely get 3 sponsors to stay with us. You know what I'm saying? So we need to start doing things that are going to enhance the interest. And so that's all I'm doing, man. As a about to be 47-year-old kid, still a kid for this thing, man. I just want to advance it as much as possible. And if you are a young man coming up in the sport too, we want to do it for you as well, man. Make sure all the efforts are being done and put on the table to expand this thing, because it's definitely a unique sport, a dangerous sport, and we want to make sure that these people's lives that are involved in this sport are for naught, are not all for naught. Um, if I'm saying that correctly, we want their lives and their legacies to mean something, and with sponsors and sponsorship money and stuff like that, and that can help. That can definitely help. So just want to be a true ambassador to this thing, man, and just help move it forward. Miller American 87. My first race was at 3 years old. Seafair. 3 years old. I'm about to be 47 in June. And then I was born on the same day that the Seattle Supersonics won the championship, but the year before. And so I'm kind of close to that situation also with the Seattle Supersonics and all this stuff going on. I know some ins and outs and things like that. So, Who knows? We might get a couple of the Beacon Plumbing boats to don the Seattle Supersonics colors. We're working on it, y'all. We're working on big things. We're working on big things. Yeah, Bill Munt. Hey, his son follows me on Facebook. Will Muncie. He follows me on Facebook, man. And so, just you're perfect, perfect, just like him. He was just a big ambassador of the sport, man. Just wants to make sure that everybody's involved, that it keeps going. Him and Bernie Little were just the big staples of that, togetherness and just creating something special for everybody. So I just want to keep that going. Just want to keep that going. Them guys are very special to the sport, and we must do anything and everything possible to keep it going for them and their legacies, because they worked really hard just to keep it going. And to know that Bernie Little didn't even pay no money for the Budweiser sponsorship. It was a handshake deal. They just trusted each other for 40 some odd years. They were a sponsor of that boat, Budweiser, and now he him and his family own breweries and stuff like that. So it's just a sport with a lot of history. We just want to add to it. I'm happy that you came through, bro, because I get a chance to speak hydroplanes, man, and I do a lot of streaming and not a lot of talking, but it's cool when somebody comes in and talks my language, and that way I can show my other subscribers that I do have a voice, that it's not just gaming. But when you're a part of a game too, I mean, when you're helping develop a game, you know, you just gotta be on your game. So so you can correct anything that you need to. Whoa, whoa, you're light. Yeah, but if you want, bro, you can always follow me too. Follow me here. Share the page with people who are interested in the hydro games and stuff like that. Um, there's a lot of content on my channel for both games. Um, but you can also just follow me, Seattle Rick 206, on all platforms. If you can hear me, it'd be all Seattle Rick, Seattle SEATTLE, Rick RSEK, and then the number 206. You should be able to find me everywhere. As a matter of fact, yesterday my video was paying homage to Bill Muncie. I think Bill Muncie's picture's on the thumbnail, I think. But I was actually parking all the boats in front of his monument. I wasn't parking them in the real parking spots. I was parking them in front of his monument. So then that way people can get, like, if they wanted to take pictures of the boat sitting there in front of the monument, they could. I used to do a lot of screenshots of all the different boats sitting in front of that monument. Just paying homage to the man. I can't wait till Jimmy Johnson from NASCAR gets to drive that Blue Blaster down there in San Diego. Yeah, we gotta be there, bro. Gotta be there. I gotta see that. If we've ever wanted to get the two sports to link up and to match up, that'll be the day. Because what we have here is literally NASCAR on the water. 164,076. 164,076. Yep, Instagram is Seattle underscore Rick underscore the number 206. My bad, I just saw that. It's Seattle SEATTLE underscore the underscore sign Rick RICK and then the underscore sign again with the number 206. You should be able to see my profile picture is me and Jose Benavidez. Actually, the same profile picture that I have right here on my YouTube. Me and Jose Benavidez Sr. We're both in red tees and red shirts. That's my Instagram. Cool. Cool. Welcome, brother. Welcome. Now you get to be all up in my business. No, I'm just playing. Welcome. Welcome, man. Welcome. I'm just a real passionate person about what I do, man. For real. Honestly. My passion has pushed people away because I'm just real and I'm very transparent. And it could be to a fault. I'm not perfect. But yeah, I'm just a very passionate person about everything I do, both boxing and basketball. I'm very passionate about all three, and I want to make sure that I can tie all three together with hydroplane racing. So yeah, just very passionate about what I do, man. Heck yeah, they're very cool people, man. All of them, very cool people. Yeah, man. Yeah, Tri-Cities overall is my favorite course. You know, just for the party atmosphere. You know, for the how close the race is to you. Especially when it's a full on course. Last year we had the shortened course because of the water shortage in the river. But hopefully this year it should be just fine this year. We should have our 2.5 mile course back. But just to see those boats travel on that water. I'm sure it'd be about the same thing with San Diego. I just need to see it again, man. I need to see it again. But but yeah, I did not realize what time it was, y'all. I need to get myself prepared. I gotta get up in the morning and go to work. But we are going to be back tomorrow night. I get off early and I don't go to work till late Saturday. So we have all night to chill, kick it, talk, whatever you want to do. Um, you can request a boat, for me to run on the Hydro Sim. You can also request a boat for me to run on the Hydro 2D because we're gonna bring Hydro 2D to you tomorrow. We're gonna bring you some Hydro 2D, some Thunder, some turbines, some old school, some new school, some of this and some of that. You know what I'm saying? But your boy Rick will be back. I promise you guys that. Uh, Shout out to my man EJ from San Diego. Shout out San Diego. I'm gonna make sure that I make you a moderator on the channel too, brother. So your name will end up being blue on the station. You know, we got anybody coming in acting stupid, sounding stupid, typing anything stupid. You can most definitely just get them on out of here. You know what I'm saying? What we're gonna call it is give them a 1 lap penalty. The 1 lap penalty is a timeout. That's when we time them out. But a DSQ, that's when you're out of here. That's when the race weekend is over for you. You got to go. Create another channel and come back. But yeah, I'm gonna make you a moderator on the channel. I got you. I got you, brother. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'll be back. I can't say a specific time. I just like to just pop on. I haven't really gotten to where I can, set a time and all that stuff yet. But I just want to start, just keep continuously putting out content, and you guys will see me live. But yeah, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody. It's your boy Seattle Rick 206, and we will definitely be back tomorrow. Definitely be back tomorrow. Let's see where we at here. But until then, like I always say, enjoy the slideshow. I love y'all, man. This is my life in pictures. Peace.